Hello everybody, this is Dean Phoenix, continuing with my Deathmarch low level Piercing Cold New Game Plus playthrough. It's quite a mouthful. As you can see, we are carrying on. We've still got the Grandmaster Griffin gear with both of these swords, so that we get the boost from Aard and everything else. And this is based on Piercing Cold, and we started New Game Plus at a lower level so that Piercing Cold could remain effective for longer. I do have a lot of ability points to use here. As I was discussing at the end of the last episode, I could either put those into a couple of extra mutations, but all that would really give me is another blue sign slot. And I don't really need any of those at the moment, so instead what I think I may do is eventually end up putting some more points into getting Rend and maybe Razor Focus and replacing the strong attack damage skills that I have there, and replacing at least one of those with Rend and maybe the other one with Razor Focus, but haven't really decided yet. So we'll think about that in a little bit. We are using Acquired Tolerance, Delayed Recovery, Synergy and Protective Coating, all fantastic skills and extremely useful there. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with this build so far. It's really good. So now we're just going to carry on. And just going to continue with the Poet Under Pressure. And after that I'll be going to Toussaint, which is one of my absolute favourite things to do. Because we go to Toussaint early. It's quite easy to do, so yeah. We can let Priscilla play. Might as well play Gwent. It's the only opportunity you get to play her. You don't win anything from her or anything like that, but might as well just play. I always love playing Gwent. So what deck is she using? Scoia'tael. We got the decoy and all of my spies. That's brilliant. Right, so we're just going to go with this. I have the Nilfgaardian deck set up so that I have Relentless already. I did high stakes early, so I had the Relentless leader card, and I also went and got the Mysterious Elf card myself. By doing those Skellige quests early. So even though I'm only about 15 or so levels into New Game Plus, I already have a lot of really powerful things there. So what's going to be the easiest way for me to win this? If I play Dandelion, and I'll be able to play them back with the Medic, and those will be 24, so that should work. Okay. And that would also let me play that spy as well, but I don't need to do that just yet. I'll do that in the next round, especially with me winning that one. I'll be able to get the eventual lead in spy card, so I'll get that spy card back with Relentless first. Then they'll probably play the spy themselves. And so while they do have the leading cards at the moment, I'll very soon be able to overtake it, because I'll be able to play these three spies again. And that will, in all likelihood, actually probably let me get the either Villain Tretameth to take some of that score away, or eventually get me the Biting Frost card and or Mysterious Elf at some point. So hopefully I'll be able to get as many of those as possible. So I could do with getting either the Mysterious Elf or the Biting Frost as part of this draw. But instead I get Villain Tretameth, which is absolutely fine. So they've got a ton of score built up there. I can at least take some of that away, playing Bill like that. Now, I've got these three cards that I'll need to be able to replay. And I'll be able to play this spy card again as well. So I think what I'll just do is I'll just pass that round. I'll try and beat them in the next round instead. See what we get on those draws. Should probably be alright here. Let's see. I'm going to play this first. Okay, and then we'll just see what happens. I might save that last decoy there, just because they do have a lot of medics in this deck, and it can be useful to just be able to, in case one of their last 5 cards there is a medic, it'll be useful for me to be able to decoy that back and play the spy again. I'll leave myself that option. See what Priscilla's going to do. So there she's got Villain Tretameth. Not the end of the world. See what their last cards are. So they've got quite high scores there, but I think I should be able to manage it anyway. And then it all just depends on what their last morale card is. On what their last card is, sorry. So that one added morale there. And then we'll see what we get. Right, so we just need to find the best way to get the highest scores there. So I've got 4 cards left to play from my graveyard because I've got these. So let's see what 4 cards we're going to play. Now I could play Villain Tretimeth, take off 16 of their own score there. Or I could just... in fact, I've got 4 cards available to play, so I can play all 4 of these cards, which is great. So first things first. Play Villain Tretimeth. Take off that 16 score there. So that's me winning already because they've already passed on the last round. And then it's just adding as much score as I want to add. Or I can just pass if I wanted to leave that. So again, good example of the abilities that you get with the Nilfgaard deck and how you can really quickly rack up massive scores if you play things correctly. So that would have got me the Killed It achievement if that's what I was going for. 213, nice high score to start off the episode. I love that Nilfgaard deck. It's so much fun. Yeah, it was. You're the one that wanted to play. Take on me and my mighty perfect Nilfgaard deck. Get lost. I love that deck. Anyway, so that's that. Now we have to do Poet Under Pressure. Let me just have a look. So we're going to skip this and then rescue the very silly Bard himself, which we'll do shortly. Just going to check that everything coming through, which it is. Let them all take care of that, and then we just got to go and rescue Dandelion. He does always need rescuing. Go around this way. Never try and get involved in the fight there. I bet you probably could do, but... Where are we at? Where are these tracks then? Oh, there they are. Okay. You can just about keep up with the tracks here. You just got to sort of follow it this way, I think. You can hop off and grab all of these if you need a bit of extra... what's the word? Seriously, what is the word? Money. You can get those honeycombs, sell them to alchemists if you need. Good bit of free money there. But otherwise, it's absolutely fine. Got to do this, follow the tracks. Again, this bit's a bit boring, but never mind. Oh, where's the tracks gone now? Make sure that we're following those. There we go. Alright, and then we just carry on this way. Talk to this guy and then on we go.
Anyone ride through here? 2 men, one slung over the saddle like a sack.
Oh, aye, something of the kind dashed by. But we're...
Eternal fire.
Alright, so we just got to follow this. Tracks eventually veer off the road. Here. Where are we at? Follow this all the way through. Horse died. Oh no. Poor horsey. Exhausted it. Ah, it's no fun. Right, just got to find the little hidden way through here.
One of them hunters barged into a...
Alright. Right, so we got all this stuff.
Thanks.
Let me have a look. Now, there is a bit around here. This barn over here, which is a good idea to try and loot because it always has dimeritium ingot. There you go. So make sure you always loot this. You can do it now or after you've rescued Dandelion. So just grab these things. Always worth getting dimeritium ingots because they cost a couple of thousand crowns each if you're to buy them. And they are necessary for making mastercrafted and indeed later the Grandmaster armors. Well, technically it's dimeritium or not dimeritium ingots, but you get the idea. You need them for making the mastercrafted to actually make the Grandmaster in the first place. So Alright. Right. Whoops. Dandelion trying to talk shit. Same as ever. That's alright. I've only got one guy to take out, so it'll be very easy to actually do that. Especially because I'll be able to double cast signs straight away. So I'll just put Gwent on now. And then I'll run in, set him burning, and then set Erden afterwards. Or maybe try Erden first and then burn him. And that should give my stamina time to recover. I don't even have to use any, you know... what's the word? Don't even have to use any potions for that. So you see, because of the bonus I've got there, I can just burn him with Igni. And then same again. And you can't actually knock him down because he's one of those enemies that's resistant to being knocked down, so I'll just burn him with Igni instead. So even enemies that Aard doesn't really work on, Igni's burning remains very effective, which is cool. Make sure you loot that guy, because if you just noticed there, I got a flawless ruby. That's one of the very few places where you can actually get a flawless ruby in the game. And particularly if you ever want to make the mastercrafted feline swords, you need a flawless ruby for that. So just bear that in mind. I don't actually like the feline swords because they don't have any critical hit damage bonuses, so I don't like them as much. I prefer the Ursine swords because they do have the critical hit damage bonuses. That's what I'll normally use, apart from on like a playthrough like this where I want the 6 set Griffin bonus because it's all signs based. That's pretty cool. Let's have a look. Right, so that's Power Under Pressure done. This is possibly my least favourite quest in the entire game. I really hate this nonsense. It's a real pain in the backside. It's just so long and nothing interesting happens and it just sucks. So yeah, I really hate this bit. I just dodge like a madman. Don't fight any of these guys, can't be bothered with that. Let's try and mash A and dodge all the way through. I can't remember which is the best way to go, but like there's a few ways you can go, so just follow the map thing here. And try and run through all this. Eventually you get to the bit where you do have to have a fight at the end, which is extremely irritating, but what can you do? Get through all this crap. I hope those guys don't all follow me up here. There is actually a way, I saw somebody do it, where you can jump up here, which is like really amazing, because if you can get it outside of combat, you can jump up here. I always wanted to try it. It looks like I've just managed it there, maybe. Ha! Wicked! There you go. You learn something new every day. So you can avoid that fight if you can actually jump up the side. I have no idea who showed me that clip, but if it was you, thank you very much. That skips out a really annoying fight. Ha! That's cool. Well, there you go. So yeah, if you can get her out of combat, you can jump over that bit there and skip that out entirely. That's cool, because I really hate that quest. I hate that fight at the end of it. They do a ton of damage. It's just a pain in the neck. You spend like half your life dodging. So that's pretty cool. Interesting.
Yeah. Dave.
Anyway, so we're going to skip through this. Okay. Got all this stuff. Anyway, skip through all this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Go through all this stuff. And then we get to do Blood and Wine, which is what I'm going to go and do right away, I think, probably. Let's have a look. Alright. Right, so we get all this stuff. And we could just got the Skellige things to do, so that's the main Novigrad quest portions done. So they ride off. And now I can go and do the main parts of it with everything else. get a weird picture from these dudes. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, this happens sometimes. You can't talk to these guys, which is really weird. You don't get your picture from Hemmelfart or whatever his name is, but... Oh well, there we go. How bizarre. Suppose maybe it has to let that little blood and wine bit go. Right, so now we've got Envoys and Wine Boys. We've got a fair way to ride until we get to that. I'll just have a look which area I'm in, because there is one of the places of power that I've still got to get while we're in this area. Now that we're nice and close, I'll just go and do that. There's also the quest with the Hound of the Wild Hunt that you have to do at some point. Well, you don't have to. It's a monster contract, and I've done most of those. So I may just do that while I'm in the general area as well. So I'll get this contract from. I'll get that contract from this notice board. We'll see. As always, just going to kill all the geese, just because you get the chance to get some feathers if needed. I didn't actually get any there, but never mind. I got all this stuff. Now this is one of the optional quests that normally I just skip because I can't be bothered with, but I want to see... one of the things that's interesting is this particular fight is an interesting one because you have to fight a werewolf and soldiers at the same time, so it's constantly trying to swap between your swords while you do that fight, and it's quite an irritating fight because of that. But with a piercing cold build, it won't be a problem, so it should be alright. So she should be around somewhere soon. Wait until dusk. Well, I would consider this dusk, to be honest. Maybe the game doesn't. Oh, we've got a feather there at least. Not bothering going chasing that goose just for that though. Right, well let's make it duskier then. What time do we have to be for dusk, I wonder? Where is Little Red? Oh, there she is. Right, so just sort these out and then go. We've come for Bertram. Anyway, yeah, as you've probably figured out, she is indeed a werewolf. But with this science build, because you don't have to, it doesn't matter as much about having the correct sort of, what's the word? Oils and things, because I'll be using less sword strikes. It'll actually be pretty easy, so speak to her first. I'll take her out. You can spare her, and there are a few interesting background things. It is one of those conundrums that the game throws up and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so, I mean, oi, wrong. Whoops, pressed the wrong thing there. Nope, let's restart that. Didn't want to do that. That was what you get for skipping ahead in dialogue. Anyway, so yeah, this is a, like I say, interesting little quest that you can do. So the choices are that obviously you can spare her, as I accidentally did then, or you can fight her when I was just mashing through all that stuff there. So, yeah, it's interesting. Let's just have a look. I'll just fight them. Do. Let me have a look. Let me have a see. Just wait for this to reload. And then we'll be able to complete it. Right, so after we've done this little side quest, then I'll go and grab the place of power that's in this area as well, and then I'll carry on. I think I'll go straight to Toussaint, because I love doing that. So going to Toussaint early is pretty easy. You just have to beat Goliath the Giant. And it's eminently doable, even though he'll be very high level, because if you can't just beat him down normally, and you're not strong enough to do that, because he'll be like, 15 or 20 levels higher than you, because the Blood and Wine DLC is like level 35ish. You can very easily do it just by shooting him in the face. You can actually kill any Cyclops, or I think any giant as well, purely by shooting him in the eye with a crossbow bolt. So you have to hit him dead on, and so it can take a few shots, but it's pretty easy to do, so not bad at all. Right, so again, we're just going to meditate. It's actually a bit later than 9, wasn't it, that we needed, so not quite sure how that's dusk, seeing how it's like nearly midnight, but yeah, whatever. So she should turn up soon. Take out these and everything, see if we get some feathers again. Nope, don't want to fast travel, I just want to pick up the things from the goose. Here she is. Right, let's speak to her and actually just kill him this time. I'll do this in a sec. Alright. Oh no, she's a werewolf. Oh no. I did not see that coming. Anyway. Here we go. So, looks like it's time to oil up. Alright, so pile on all of the everything there. I didn't get magic trap down, that's a little bit annoying. Right, so this is normally quite a bit of a problem, but as you can see, I'll be able to very easily get everything sorted just by burning them like that. Keep Gwent up, get Erdem for my big bonuses, and then I'll be able to go right into it with Aard Sweep. Wreck everything and stun the werewolf at the same time. And then when all of the normal enemies are dead, I can just kill the rest of them like that. So normally it's a problem because, like I say, you end up switching skills and everything else, but here it's not a problem because I can just kill the thing from distance. And also inflict bleeding on it with the arrows as well, so it takes a little bit extra damage. Keep Erden and Gwent up, and then with the higher stamina regeneration, set that thing burning as well. So tons of good stuff like that. And we can kill everybody very, very easily. That's why builds like this are kind of fun, and you should, consider different playstyles for different playthroughs. Always fun. So there you go, absolutely destroyed. Leave me with a ton of loot to grab and some more stuff to sell there as well, which is always fun. Alright. That's that all sorted. Interesting. Not quite sure what all that is, but yeah. Interesting. Anyway, got all those killed. All sorted. What are all these dead things, I wonder? Geese, goats, things killed by somebody other than me. How strange. Poor goats. This is one of the fields where sometimes there'll be a night wraith about. So they'll either be like humans about, or sometimes there'll be night wraiths and things like that. So if you ever need to try and get dark essence for the certain potions, or light essence, you can try and find a noon wraith or a night wraith. Noon wraith obviously gives the light essence. Right, so now I've also got that notice board. It adds some undiscovered locations. Oh no, that's the Allness one that I was thinking of, and I do already have that place of power. I thought that was the Allness board, and I didn't have that place of power, but I do have that already, so that's fine. But it does give me the Apiarian Phantom quest if I want that one. I think I may just go and do that one, just for something a little different. Mix it up a little bit. Again, you can see for whatever weird reason, Superior Blizzard has run out, even though the delayed recovery is working for everything else, which is really strange. Not too big a deal, just a minor frustration. Anyway, going to carry on with this playthrough now. And do the Phantom side quest, and then I'll be heading to Toussaint right afterwards. Can be quite a lengthy little side quest, but again, if I'm just going to skip through it, it shouldn't be too bad. There's a ton of looting to do, so I'll have to try and resist the urge to do that, because it just wastes a bit of time. Okay. So let's get rid of all this stuff. If we're doing it, then we might as well get a bit of extra reward anyway. Alright. Get through all this stuff.
This way. Follow me.
Where'd you get the idea it was an apiarian phantom?
It's a beekeeping superstition. To mismanage the bee
Welsh halflings for some bizarre reason.
destroys the hives and kills the bees, so that no one can use these noble creatures for ignoble purpose.
Sick to your bees
Mm.
competition, eh?
No, Father recently signed a contract with the Redanians.
So the phantoms from Nilfgaard.
Ha. Bunch of stuff to grab around here as well. Especially at the end of this, it's another place where you can often get dimeritium. Again, I think you normally end up back here. And you should loot these because... yeah, there you go. Dimeritium. There are some places where you just always seem to get a dimeritium ingot and stuff like that. So, anyway. I'm going to go this way first of all. Again, you can loot these honeycombs if you need a bit of extra
Covered in frost.
money and things like that. You can always sell those to alchemists. Particularly if you can ever be bothered going back to White Orchard for any reason. You can sell them to Tomira. So we're just going to follow all this stuff. Now we've got a few necrophages to fight. And then after that, just got the phantom itself. Alright. Why is this marker still back here? I just followed the tracks. You saw me follow them. Okay. Seriously, what am I supposed to be examining? I already know. There are tracks.
Apiarian phantoms got where these clues
Weird.
are.
Anyway.
Tracks disappear in the water. Doubt anything's hiding in this puddle they call a lake. Need to check the other side.
Probably not.
Trail of the shame of the drowners, but they didn't destroy the hives.
Take these things out. Nice and easy. And nice instant kill again with Aard. Grab myself some mutagens for my troubles. Always helpful. Oh, including a lesser red. Very good. There's even more of them here. Whoops. Double cast that by accident. What are you screaming at? You know you're dead. You know you're dead, right? No chance you survive. Big old chunk of that one out. Tons of fun. Again, piercing cold at its absolute finest and most effective. Tons of fun. Right, okay, so now we're just going to try and pick up this tracks again, which are here. We're just going to follow them all the way down here.
Gotta find another way.
Can't get anything here. Probably a few useful things to pick up here, but again, like I said, it's just going to take a little less time if I'm not looting everything, so grab some of them, not all. Can't really be bothered climbing up, don't need the rest of it. Still got everything active there. And hopefully I'll be able to kill this thing before it escapes. I wonder if I can stop it running away by having a magic trap here, that'd be cool.
Apiarian phantom, my ass. It's a hound of the wild hunt. How the hell did it end up here?
Nope.
Roach
Magic trap didn't get it, that's irritating. Get him, Roach. Yeah, there you go. Nice. So you do a ton of damage to it that way as well, which is fun. Can we actually do any damage with piercing cold as well? Oh yeah.
die.
Finish this thing off with Igni, nice and easy. That was good. That's what I was kind of hoping would happen. Oh, and I got a thingy there as well. That's good. Another red mutagen. I can just go and collect on that contract. So that was nice and simple. Good bit of fun using Piercing Cold again. And on we go. So I'll just ride this way first. And then go back to Envoys and Wine Boys. Might just fast travel for this bit. It'll be quite a little way to go. Easy. Don't want to be meeting Yen on Hindersfjord just yet. So because I started at a really low level, I can actually just... Let me have a look. I think it ends up being somewhere around here, so the nearest notice board is going to be this one. But in the meantime, I could just go and get this notice board, which I haven't got yet. Kill two birds with one stone, so I'll just go and do that first. And then we'll carry on after that. Alright. Okay, so level 48 there. And got a little bit of extra crowns as well. Now, as you can see, that's marker is 1,000 steps away, which is where I want to be going, so I'll just have to make my way over there first. There is actually the low level contract with a wyvern that you can do over this way as well. If you're playing in a regular playthrough, that's a level 7 contract, and so that lower level wyvern is a really good way to get not just the wyvern mutagen for maybe having that as a plus 5% mutagen boosting your attack and your abilities, but instead you could also use it for the wyvern decoction, which is an interesting one very early in the game. For the way that the wyvern decoction works, because every blow you land, it increases your attack damage by 5% for the remainder of the fight. So if you're good at dodging and you can stay out of the way of getting hits, or if you're using a medium armor with Griffin School techniques, which I would always recommend using with the starting armor early in a normal playthrough, you can keep Quen up, and that stops you from taking hits, obviously, because you're not taking any direct hits. And so you can get the wyvern decoction there as well, which is, you know, you can get the boost from the wyvern decoction there as well, which is very useful. So yeah, it's a good one. Anyway, just going to ride through this Nilfgaard camp. The Nilfgaard camp that you will recognise if you've seen my OP Whirlwind tank build, the best build in the game, where you can actually wage war on these entire Nilfgaardian people, which is quite fun. And take them out. Not going to loot this stuff because there's like a ton of, you know, other things about. Yes, so there's the Envoys and Wine Boys bit. Don't need any of this stuff really, but might as well just grab it while we're here. Play him at cards first. Okay, so he's playing Northern Realms, don't need the Biting Frost particularly. Might be useful to have those decoys. And I will still be able to use Relentless to get that other spy back, depending on what I get here, obviously. May need to use the Scorch if he has another one of those Reavers. But he doesn't at the moment, so that's alright. Okay, so that was pretty easy. Always try and win the first round if at all possible against Northern Realms, because it stops them from getting the extra card for winning. And I have basically 4 medics here, if needed, which is useful. I'm just going to make sure I don't play my higher value cards yet, if I can help it. For that very reason, I'll let them try and play the strongest possible ones, and then I'll play my Scorch as late as possible as well. So they'll probably replay that. Oh no, they won't replay the Spy, obviously, because I've already reused the Spy, so that's interesting. Now, if I Scorch that one, that's the highest value one there. And I can take this medic back. So even though this is a 1-point card and there are these 3 medics which don't score anything, I can use them to my own advantage. See if I can get high enough scores to win anyway, which I should be able to do. Just by replaying these. So that doubles these up. And then I'll double that whole row, which will be 34. Oh, 37, beg your pardon, because you get the 2 from Dandelion as well. Play these 2, easy win. And then I would still have won anyway, because I could have just retaken this one and then replayed them. But obviously I would have stopped well short of playing those cards if I wasn't guaranteed to win, as I was already. So beating that guy as well. Speak to him about the contract if you want, just in case you ever come back and do that. But then I will be going on from there, so... Got the ghoul card there, absolutely terrible. And then we've got the patrol goal missing as well. Alright, that's that all sorted. Now, just got to meet the knights. So as you can see, that's like 2,000 steps away, so that's a really long way to go. So I'll just find the closest fast travel marker and then fast travel there. Quite a ways to go. Where are you, Roach? Oh, there she is. Couple of little mini quests you can do from this area as well, but I'm just going to ignore them at the moment. Not that fussed. Just rather get to Toussaint for a bit of something different. Now what I'll do off stream as well is I'll fast travel back to Velen afterwards, pile up all my inventory stuff and then sell a bunch of that, but that's very boring and takes a very long time, so I'll not do it on stream, I don't think. So what I've been doing in this is I've been saving up a ton of stuff. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Right, just waiting for this to load. Now, this bit, you can actually, it starts off with like a fight against a load of high-level bandits. I'll probably not be able to take those on. So I'll skip it instead. You know, I'm kind of tempted just to try and take them on, but I think they'll be too high level for me to burn because they'll all be Red Skull, and I won't be able to do enough damage, so I'll probably not do that yet, but let's have a look.
You see, you market, we just be up.
Now the problem is, if I do try and fight them, it might auto-save it and not be possible for me to do it, but we'll have a look. Anyway, we'll try and take them on. They'll probably kill me, but I'll just reload the save if that's the case. Always fun. I think they probably will be a little bit too high level for me to be able to burn them, and if that's the case, then I won't be able to do anything to them, but let's have a look. Alright. Let's have a look. They'll do an absolute ton of damage as well, so I'll have to be very careful, but yeah. Right, alright, let's try this then. If I can't burn them, then I'll just have to reload the an earlier save, so let's have a look. I may well have to do that, but fun to try at least. So, we need to be getting Erden down for a start, and then see if we can burn these guys. Which we can't, so we're probably in a big amount of trouble here. Let's have a see. We're going to be real careful. Oh, we can burn them, so, you know, because they are actually burning, we have a pretty decent chance of taking these guys out. And there you can see Blizzard kicking in, slowing everything down. And this is why Igni's so powerful sometimes, because, you know, you've just got that much damage from the burning itself that the actual damage of Igni doesn't matter. So we're just going to keep trying to burn these guys. Avoid hits at all costs. And these guys need taken out as well. And then when we can do that, then we should be alright. Oof, gotta keep Gwen up at all costs though. But yeah, they are burning for the most part, so just gotta keep the Gwen there. Uh-oh. Yeah, don't let him catch his breath. Whoa, dodge, move. Smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. Alright, so taking out these bandits and everybody else. You know what might be useful is actually if I can get up a magic trap as well. Let's get that up. Keep Gwen up, obviously, at all costs. That's the most important thing. And then we can use the double cast ability of Igni and hit these things. Don't seem to be able to burn them with Fire Stream, which is a bit unfortunate. And can we actually get them burnt as well? Let's try that. Didn't really seem to inflict bleeding there. So keep that up. Alright, so just rolling along here, trying to get as much damage as possible. And again, just got to keep the burning going. I can hear somebody drawing the arrows, like drawing the bow, but I can't actually get close enough. Ah, there he is. Again, just get a ton of burning going on there. You can see the immense amount of damage that they're actually taking, which is very useful. And just keep these guys like that. Ow, 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 ow. Nope. That was a lot of damage. Okay, so this is why we got to try and take these guys out and just be very careful at all times. So just going to burn these guys again. And you can see that we're not really doing any damage with Piercing Cold because of how high level they are. So we're just mainly sticking to... yeah, we're just sticking to Igni for this one. I think that's the last guy left, so... And we can let Palmerin do the damage to him there as well and finish him off. And then we've got this guy, Bandit, over here as well. See if I can actually... what's the word? Get him burnt. Now, if I had Rend, I'd be alright here, but... Need to see if I can actually get him stunned and then... I can get hits on him with Axie like that as well. I have to be very careful here, but I should be able to do it. And I can get him burnt like that as well. That was dope. So yeah, there you go. If you want to be able to take out high level people, you really can. Sweet. So yeah, start as you mean to go on. Try and finish as many of those as possible. Pretty good fun.
So fess up. What brings you such a long way?
Anyway, so we got all this stuff. We got the picture of what turns out to be Dettlaff. But yeah. Even though he looks suspiciously like Slenderman in the little things there. So now we've got to take out the giant Goliath. So I'll just have to keep Gwen up at all times. I don't think I'll be able to damage it at all. So I'll have to watch out for that.
Geralt learned that Cirilla, his one-time ward, had returned from afar. She was in danger. He was to find her at the Emperor's command and Yennefer's behest.
Let's have a look. Yep. So let's do this. A few other things you can do in Toussaint as well. The main things that are really good for going early in a regular playthrough is you can buy all of the alchemy, high-level alchemy ingredients for a lot cheaper than you can normally, because normally you have to make white gold to make like a Rebis or a Negredo or anything like that. You have to make white gold first, and so you need 2 white gold for a lot of the superior potions and bombs and things, and that costs quite a lot. Whereas if you get to Toussaint early, you can buy those Rebis and Negredo and things like that just from, they're about 200 and something crowns each, so they're a lot cheaper. You can just buy them from the perfumery merchant. And he has a bunch of really useful, he has pretty much all the alchemy ingredients and stuff, so... not ingredients, all the alchemy recipes and things, so you can buy extra recipes from him. Really good. Really good. So we're just going to wait for this to load. It takes a long time to go between Toussaint and the regular one because it loads like the whole DLC, I would assume. Which is, yeah, tricky to say the least. But right now, it should be alright. Just go in, trying to beat this monster. Goliath, when it actually loads. Then we go able to go right into town. So you see, that was the alcohol sound, so it sounds like I've got all of my alchemy stuff back. And again, at all times I need to be keeping up everything there, so let me see. What are giants there? Are they relics or ogroids? Why can I not remember that? I think they're ogroids, right? Yeah, yeah. Alright. So this dude may well kill me in one shot, so let's try and get the bolts to hit him. So you got to try and hit him in the visor. And again, just keep the hey, got him. Nice. It's just the easiest way to beat him, really. So if you can beat him with one shot like that, nice and easy. So just in time to rescue Guillaume. And that being the case, get all that skipped. Anyway, get the cool trophy as well. It's a good looking one. I always take that trophy. I just like the novelty of riding around Toussaint with that instead. Get a greater red mutagen from that thing as well, and the Dahlia sword, which will be too high level for us to use, but can be sold or can be kept for later or anything else. I'll just sell it in this playthrough, I think. But yeah, that was quite cool. Anyway, off we go. Alright. So just going to ride all the way through here. I like how I've got the cool same silver saddle and things like that as well. And here we go. So now we're in Toussaint and we can just do whatever we want to all intents and purposes. You don't have to carry on with the actual quest or anything. So just going to go in here. Might as well play this guy at Gwent as well while we're here. And the innkeeps in Toussaint give really good prices for stuff as well, so let's have a look. Interestingly, you can buy all of the vampire cards that you would buy from the innkeep. So if you want to get a good start on the monster deck, you can buy a ton of them from here, which is quite interesting. So get a bunch of those. That'd be a good place to start if you wanted the monster deck and things like that. And these guys give really good prices for stuff, so can sell some of these things if we wanted. Let's get rid of some of this. Alright. Can't remember what that raven's feather's from, but never mind. Sell some of this crap as well. Might as well. Always sell the alcohol stuff because you'd never use that to like heal anyway. Because it sends Geralt drunk, which is like really annoying. Sell this stuff, get a few extra 100, why not? Might as well. Alright, so get rid of a few things there. And some of these lesser food items. Might as well. We've got an absolute ton of those. Can sell some of the other stuff if you wanted, if you needed the money or whatever. I mean, really don't, so that'll do. I remember the first time I played this guy, he was the first guy I'd come across with the Skellige deck. I got absolutely wrecked because I just wasn't expecting the Ceres card. He's actually got a really good deck. So, what have we got? Done pretty decent draw there. And that's even better. It's a good idea to have the Scorch card versus Skellige and the Biting Frost, so that if they've got any of their really powerful cards, you can get them and get those Scorch there. Take that back, play it a second time. Okay, so in the interest of winning with as few moves as possible, let's play these two. Now, before they use their Skellige ability to get rid of all of those, I want to play these as soon as possible, because they could potentially do that. But they've only got 2 cards left, so it shouldn't be too bad. Let's see what their last card is, and if they're going to play the leader ability. Okay, so now we want to win this round because the main thing about the Skellige deck, its perk is that it gets 2 random cards back, so they could get some very powerful cards back there if possible, but not a problem right now, so I'll just win this round outright with the Scorch and everything else. So I was holding the Scorch back and trying to get Villain Tretameth replayed, just to make sure that I had Ceres under control if they'd played the Ceres card, because she summons the extremely powerful muster cards there as well. So you have to be real careful with that.
Thought I knew them all. Guess I was wrong. Must be a one-off. Message on the back, signed by a certain Count Monnier. Invitation to a tournament. Interesting.
Well, cool. So that's what happens if you win a Gwent match and get the actual what's the word? Get a Skellige recipe, a Skellige card as a victory before you've learnt about the Gwent tournament. Whereas otherwise you would just pick it up from one of the notice boards like that. And then we've got these other ones here that you can sort. There's some really interesting stuff there as well. So anyway, what we need to do is want to be making our way to town, getting the fast travel markers on the way and things like that. Yeah, so a bunch of stuff that we want to do there. This is why it's always fun to come to Toussaint early. Tons of stuff to do. A bunch of good things like that. So I'm just going to make my way there. And so that really, killing Goliath and shooting him a couple of times with the crossbow until you can get that shot on his visor and kill him straight away is literally all you need to be able to do. And if you don't have to take on all those Red Skull enemies like I did to get to Toussaint. You can just, if you watch my Getting to Toussaint early video, you can actually just choose the other option of there will always be bandits or whatever it is that Geralt says. And you can just skip out that fight entirely, so you don't have to fight the bandits. You go straight to the fight with Goliath. And then from there it's relatively easy. So yeah, good to do. Get to Toussaint really easily as well. So even though it's a level 65 quest, I'm just approaching level 49, but I've very easily made it here. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Now if that's level 65, let me have a look. I'm just trying to figure out what level I need to be. So Beast of Toussaint is 66. Yeah, I started at level, so that's 35 levels into New Game Plus is level 66. So my Grandmaster armor in this playthrough will be level 71 if I get that high. But I probably won't get that high because I'll only just Piercing Cold will have stopped working by then. So this playthrough will have lost its appeal largely. Now I think this is where you'll get the letter. Because I've not had my romance options or anything like that yet. It'll just be a letter from Yennefer to Geralt, just saying about being a friend. Now you should always pay the 5 crowns here, always. It gets you the chivalric virtue of generosity for Arendite, and it's 5 crowns. Come on, don't be so cheap. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, this is the sort of neutral letter, your friend Yennefer and stuff like that. And that's for unlocking mutations, but obviously we don't need to, so I can just leave that. Unlike the regular one, I don't have to do that here. The regular playthrough, I'll do that as soon as possible if I want to get mutations. Don't have to do that here, so that's fine. Okay. So I've got all my letters and things like that. This perfumery guy is extremely useful. He's got a bunch of good stuff for sale. Also has like a really good Nilfgaard deck. Let's have a look. Really good Nilfgaard deck, from what I remember. He's one of the few people who can give me problems, so let's try. Oh no, he's got Skellige deck. Oh, that's alright. Well, I seem to remember him having a really good deck anyway, so that's a great deck for us to get, so just going to use that first. Don't have anything to control Cerys other than Villain Tretameth though, so I'll have to be very careful and just keep that one there. I'll have to have a look at that. So it's got some really interesting stuff like the muster deck and stuff like that. The muster cards and things like that, so I'll have to be careful there. But I do have Villain Tretameth and the decoy, so even if they've got a couple of the shield maidens, I should be able to deal with that. Okay, so win that pretty easily. Now normally I will leave playing the medic stuff until a little bit later, but in this particular instance I'm going to do it as soon as possible because I don't want their leader ability to stop me from being able to use these cards, because the leader ability scraps the graveyard. Now that's going to be quite difficult because obviously that's a really high scoring combination. So I'm going to have to see if I can get the Scorch card in my deck. And if not, then we might have a little bit of a few problems, but we'll see. Yeah, so there he's just done exactly what I feared, and they've sort of scrapped that. So I'll have to try and win this right now. And that is why we saved the Villain Tretameth card, because Cerys is so powerful that she musters things like that, which we want none of that. None of that. So again, phenomenally high scoring deck if things break correctly. So you need to be very careful with that. So that's all pretty much worst case scenario. That's pretty bad, but let's see what we can get here. So first things first, scrap those points. They can come off straight away. Then we'll take another 8 from them. And then we should be able to win. So we've got these points to come from my hero cards. And they weren't able to scrap these Imperial Brigade cards again, because they only get to do it once from the leader ability. And then I can just win the game like that. So yeah, really good deck on their point, but this is why you got to have a bit of versatility in your Nilfgaard deck, which is cool. I love that. Anyway, so got Villain Tretamurth. Biting Frost would have done much the same thing. So yeah, really important to do it about that way. So what else have we got? See if he's got anything particularly interesting. I don't think he really will have at this point. Nothing I really need right now anyway. So he's got all these, which will be all the glyph stuff, but I've already got all of the other ones that I need, like the actual alchemy recipes and things like that. So none of those. They look different than these, so I don't have to buy this stuff from him just yet. So yeah, that's all absolutely fine. But he is a really excellent person to be dealing with if you come to Toussaint early on a regular playthrough. He's one of like the main draws of you know, doing that, so that's really cool. I might just go and grab the actual Skellige deck while I'm here, because that's fun. I do like the Skellige deck. Another thing you can do if you come to Toussaint early, you want to try out the Skellige deck, is like you can get the where am I going? You can get the deck early and then go from there, which is kind of cool. So you can use the Skellige deck for like a whole playthrough if you hold off on doing stuff like that until now. Alright. So, yeah. I really like the Skellige deck. It's quite an interesting addition. And there is a fair number of Gwent people to play, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, so we're just going to go through this. And he goes through that. Alright, so we go. Right, so we're going to play using the Skellige deck for that tournament. You can get that there, and that lets you build up the deck and everything else. I think I'm just going to stick with my Nilfgaard one for like the whole playthrough this time, but in a future playthrough I'll probably do something else, because I've done the whole Nilfgaard thing this time. I'll use a different deck in the next playthrough, so if I do a Viper mode playthrough or anything like that, I'll probably mix up and use either the monster deck or something like that. Right, can you play this guy as well? Is this one of the guys you can play? Maybe. Let's have a look. Indeed. Okay, so alright, so he's not somebody you can play then. Alright, fair dues. There are a ton of people you can actually play in here, but like really weird to get into that building and play somebody there. There is somebody in that building you can play, but it's only like certain times of the day and stuff like that. I can't be bothered meditating right now, so I'll just do that later. The other thing we do want to do is pay a visit to the Grand Master. I want to get this fast travel post. There's a fast travel post here somewhere, I think, near the Nilfgaardian embassy. Where am I? Getting a bit lost. Well, not lost exactly, but need to make sure I get the fast travel markers just in case I want to travel back. Ah, it's here. So there you go, Nilfgaardian embassy there. That lady over there has the contract for Grotore, which is again a fairly interesting one. If you were to watch some of my other videos, you can see that you can get mutations very early if you know what you're doing. It's quite tricky, but worth doing to an extent as well. And here is the Grandmaster Lafarge. So we just got to go and get all this stuff. And obviously he can craft you things as well, and he's a Grandmaster level. So he can do a bunch of good stuff. And he gives you really good prices for things as well, so you can sell a lot of stuff to him. And he has a ton of money there as well, so you can always afford to, you know, get those things from him. And see, that's just like a smattering of weapons, so only... Anyway, so that's that, all good there. We get rid of some of these. Dismember, monsters, herbs. And you can dismantle this sort of stuff with him as well, which is useful. Dismantle those. You want as many of these things as possible. Always want gold and silver because you can use that in crafting the certain things for the green gold, and by extension Orichalcum, which is very important. Right, so that's all we really need to do with him at the minute, and then we should be good to go. Right, now I might as well just ask him about the diagrams and go through all that stuff as well. Alright. So we go through all this stuff. Now what I'll do again, I'll do it off screen, but I'll basically I'll do it off stream. I'll go and get a load of stuff from my stash, and then I will come back here and sell them to him and have an absolute ton of money, and that'll be a big part of the next stuff that I do. So now I can either go and get a couple of what was the other things that you can get? Let me just skip through this stuff. A few of the things you can do. You can go and get a few places of power. And the places of power in Toussaint are quite easy to get. This is one of them. I think it's this one actually. No, that's the bandit camp, and that's the place of power. That's one. One of these is a cave with the Kiki Moors for Brother Where Art Thou. That's one of them. One of them is the ruins of the fort, which is over there. That's one. There are 5 in total, so that's 1, 2, 3. There's one right at the top with the white, which is round here. And there is a 4th one, which is down here. 5th one, sorry, which is down here. Here, in the ruins of the place where you find the woven diagrams. So a bunch of good stuff there. You can also go around, get all these notice boards, play everybody at Gwent if you want to play at Gwent, and get your Skellige deck. So that's, you know, another fun thing we can do. But yeah, mainly it was just so that I can sell all the stuff there and get a really a lot of money from doing that. So we've got to carry on with the Skellige quests as well. So I'll need to be doing that at some point. And then we've got a couple of these things here, Black Pearl, following the thread, stuff like that, which I could do as well. Now I do have to do Eye for an Eye. And then I need to speak to Philippa about that too. So I might as well do Eye for an Eye before I carry on with the main quests and stuff like that. I don't really need the ability points right now because I haven't really used them for anything else yet. I will just use up some of these. What do I want? Undying can be useful, but don't really need it right now. I definitely want Rend, Razor Focus. So considering that I don't really want or need many of these ones, because I've already got the Aard Intensity one, and the Igni Intensity isn't really necessary just yet. I think what I'll do instead is I'll just put the points into Rend. And I'll have Rend. So my fast attack damage won't be quite as high. And neither will my strong attack damage, but I will have Rend and Razor Focus to make up for it. So I'll get more adrenaline gain, and be able to use Rend. We'll see. Just mix it up a little bit and use those instead. Might be able to get Sunder Armor a little bit later instead as well, or Deadly Precision, which is really fun. So yeah, that's something useful there too. It's a shame Flood of Anger doesn't work because that would be really good, but never mind. Right, okay, so we've got render razor focus like that. And that'll be very useful there. So just a bit of change to the build. Nothing major, but kind of useful in its own right. Okay. Now, one of the things I could consider doing is trying to do the first quest, the Beast of Toussaint quest, early. But with it not being a sword-based build, it might be very difficult to beat the Beast of Toussaint when you have to fight them at the end, because I'd not be able to beat them as easily as I would normally. So yeah, we'll have to think about that one. Is there... Yeah, I've used up all my points now, so I'm not really focused on getting the rest of the mutations or anything like that yet. So I'll just let the rest of these quests load in, the Grandmaster Manticore and all those things that are just flashing up there. So I don't want those to get like stuck up on the screen or anything permanently, or any weird little glitches like that. So we're just going to deal with that. And then we'll go back to doing Roach's quest. So, quick diversion to Toussaint, always fun, and now I can go back there at my leisure, and like I say, off screen I'll grab a load of stuff from the stash. It'll be interesting to see how much money I actually end up with after I've done all of that. Now we go back to our regularly appointed viewing, so yeah. I love doing stuff like that, it's a lot of fun. Alright. Okay. Let me have a look. Just waiting for this to load as always. Wow, it takes a long time to load between. This is why I'll do it off stream, because it's not makes for a good viewing, obviously, if you do it that way. Let me see. Alright. Just waiting for this to load, then we've got to do Roach's quest. And again, you don't really need to do this. It is good for... what's the word? It's good for... necessary for sorting out the Radovid storyline, if you want to do that. You have to do that at some point. The main reason I want to do it is just so that I can have Geralt's card in my deck. So we'll add that one in. Alright. So, off goes Vez. Gotta go and try and rescue her. Alright. Right, so we've got to go and do this first. Go and rescue Vez. I had enough potions to just actually clear those with the white honey, which is what I normally do, but it doesn't really matter. Got a ton of alcohol anyway, with all the dwarven spirit and everything else you pick up. And again, 1,000 steps or whatever it is on the map is a long way to go, so I'll just very quickly fast travel. And because I'm already in Velen, it'll take a lot less time to actually, you know, travel than it did to go from Toussaint and back. Let's have a look. There's Roach underneath Hangman's Tree. Unfinished book of the guy that who tells you how to play Gwent and stuff. And you did tell him not to go off and do stuff, but really not bothering, was he? Wasn't listening.
Looks like...
Come on, Bez, you dozy thing. Anyway. Silly person. Alright. So, same as always, just need to take these guys out. And delayed recovery will be a big part of that. Get a blizzard going. And burn these guys. Now we want to set these burning first and then go and rescue Vest before she loses too much health or anything like that. Because she does lose a ton of health if you don't go and rescue her. And this is why we just want to down these guys. And this is where all of the skills that we do have are very useful. Because we can just use Aard sweep like that. Stop them from attacking Vest whilst also dealing them a ton of damage. And that gives me time to set them burning again with the fire damage. And that's Vez saved, so much better that way. And then after we've got all that sorted, same again. Get everybody being absolutely destroyed by piercing cold again. Especially when we've got the instant death chance there when they're all knocked over. And can burn them after that as well. So yeah, ton of damage there. Oof! Enormous explosion of blood, guts and everything else. God damn it. Anyway. So we're just going to do that. Alright, so that's all that sorted. Nice quick little quest there. I did say I was going to leave that until later, until I'd done Dangerous Game, but obviously in the intervening episode gap I have forgotten, so never mind. Do as I say, not as I do. Right, okay, so we just got all this stuff. Again, might as well grab all this stuff, because if we can sell it to the guy in Toussaint, it'll translate into a load of money, so that's always fun. Get all this stuff. This is like the only place where I ever remember getting any Zerricanian powder, which is weird. But you need it for the explosive arrows, if I remember. I've never really dedicated any time to making it or anything like that. I never use the exploding arrows, particularly because there are no new crossbows. Grim. There are no new crossbows in sort of New Game Plus, so again, that's something that doesn't scale properly. You can tell that New Game Plus was sort of like added on afterwards, because there are a few things about the scaling and the sign resistance, which obviously is the whole point of this playthrough, being a lower level one. You know, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. You can tell that it's like an additional thing. But again, really, that's just brilliant that they're adding so much extra content. And they have added so much content to the game, so should be grateful for what we get, really. What else have we got? Anything particularly interesting I want to take out? Not really. I hate Cabaret. I hate Cabaret with an absolute passion. I might just miss out all of that stuff now. Got now or never to do. Need to speak to Radovid. Oh, I've still got Lord of Unvic and Possession to do. I'll need to do those at some point. Done most of these things. Again, these ones I'd already completed, and then I had that problem with delayed recovery not working, so I redid some. But as it actually stands, that didn't really fix it anyway, so that's a bit of a shame, but never mind. Let me have a look. Let's have a look. Mysterious Tracks. That one's kind of fun. That's the short one. Jenny of the Woods again I'd done already, and then, you know, come back to it, so. Merry Widow again, did already, but then it, you know, restarted that bit of it, so nothing major to do. Might do the White Lady contract just while I'm at that sort of level. Always fun. First things first, I'll go and speak to Radovid. Tell him to get stuffed. Again, just waiting for the loading time. Skip through this. Do wish the loading times were a little bit quicker. But then again, I'm not about to spend hundreds of pounds on a PC, unfortunately. So, we've got this bit to do. Speak to Radovid here. On his nice, very grand ship. Again, I do not understand why Superior Blizzard just suddenly stopped working with delayed recovery. It's so bizarre. Anyway. Speak to this guy, finish off that little quest. No sudden movements. You know what? I could end the whole war just like by using Igni or Piercing Cold on them. What are they going to do? Radovid's an arsehole, so get stuffed. What a jackass. You can choose to give the crystal to either Triss or Yen. Probably just Yen this time, I don't know. Probably go with that. Anyway, that's that quest done. Didn't get any experience because I was far over level for it, but it doesn't really matter. Alright. So, now we've just got the White Lady quest. I think I'll do this first. And then we'll probably call it for that episode, so... Quite a fun episode. Quick jaunt to Toussaint and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll get stuff sorted. About time for me to get some stuff eaten as well. I know that's completely irrelevant to anybody watching this, but yeah, never mind. Okay, so... Get all this sorted. And then call it for that episode. This quest should only take probably a few minutes, 10 minutes, 15, something like that. Won't be very difficult. And we can go from there. Need to clear off my toxicity. Oh no, you have to meditate. Not sure if we can fit through there, so I'll just run around this side.
Greeting.
Hi. Okay. People really don't know how yeah, people really don't get how wraiths work. They're always very surprised when it's somebody they actually know and stuff like that. Then again, I suppose you wouldn't do, would you? So anyway. Again, this is another good place to get honeycombs. You can come here as soon as you get to Velen if you wanted to. Come up to Novigrad and loot those and sell them to the White Orchard herbalist Tomira, who gives the best price for them. Good little source of income if you need some extra money early in the game. Not really a concern here though, because again, I'm sticking with this armor set because it suits the build so well, so I don't need any of the upgraded ones.
Before he died, bodies dried to a crisp. Signs of skin, but no blood loss. This is no vampire. Expected
Nope.
to see 4 bodies, deep uneven tracks. Someone fled blindly in a panic.
Somebody did flee blindly. Where are we going? Alright.
Blood trail leads to the cellar.
Bandits there, could take them out as well if I wanted. Easy to take out the ghouls. Nice.
downstairs, but it wasn't their kill. Skin's unnaturally
Nope.
pale, cracked.
How strange.
To a new wraith. She's avoiding.
Yeah.
Gotta find something that belonged to her. She'll have to show then.
A few useful things you can loot from in here as well, so just make sure I grab these while I'm here. One of them is, I believe, the enhanced feline diagrams, or one of them. Good little bit of dimeritium and things like that, always useful. Again, this is why looting is a good idea generally. It's quite good. Whoa, wait. I just want to know what that is now. I'm not even that bothered about it, I just... Meteorite ingot, not insignificant. Now, where is this diagram going to be? Is it this one? Again, some fairly useful things. But not the feline diagram, so that must be elsewhere. There's definitely one of them in this tower, though, so it must be down at the bottom. I think. So I'll just head down. Might as well grab it while I'm here, just for completeness' sake. Not that I need a torch or anything, but you know. A load of different diagrams and things here, which is quite interesting. Yeah, knew it was something like that. Legendary feline. Oh, it's the regular feline steel sword. Interesting. Not particularly bothered about going doing the actual thing itself. But yeah. Summon Roach. Make my way back to the Widow. And off we go. Speak to her, and then I believe I'll have to meditate anyway before I can get to the right time of day, it being a noon wraith. So I'll get all my potions back then.
Greeting.
Alright.
Yeah. Where's she? Boozy.
Alright. Come on, Roach. Alright, so we'll just finish this contract and then we will call it a day for that episode, I think. About an hour and a half, pretty decent one. Again, if you've been watching on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe and all that stuff. I hope you're enjoying the playthrough. I'm enjoying playing it. It's a, you know, good one, good fun. Alright, so noon wraith. So we'll meditate to exactly noon. Got all our alchemy ingredients back. Then we go with spectre oil. And get everything up like that. And she should appear right after we throw the dagger in. Now this is one of the few things that this build isn't particularly good for. It's not as good because the signs don't do a lot of direct damage to the wraiths. But you can keep up Gwent and Aard very easily, which is interesting, and we do have magic trap, which will help a little bit as well. So, first things first, get Gwent up, and then we'll see Aard sweep doing very little damage, but we'll at least be able to get magic trap up. And we have rend now as well, so we can get a bit of extra damage like that. Get a few rend chops in. Not doing a lot of damage there because she's not actually in the Aard circle, so it'll be a little bit easier if I just get the moon dust bomb. Always very convenient against wraiths. Just to keep her solid so I can get some good hits in. And you can see you can get a lot of really fast hits in, which is, you know, one of the great advantages of that. Igni not really doing any damage, but can at least keep magic trap down like that. And this is what Aard Sweep is particularly good for, because it will take out the those spectres before she can recover any health using them, which is great. And we can get a few chops of rend in again, which is very useful. Very useful little trick with rend is that you don't. It seems if you were to try and fully charge it all the time, it seems a lot less useful. But when you're not trying to do that, it's really good. So you can also just stun her and use regular strikes like that, and take her out. So there we go. Again, if you're watching everything back on YouTube, then thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will go and drop off this trophy, and then that will be the end of the episode. Quite a fun one. Good little use of it again, especially you know, shooting Goliath, getting to Toussaint earlier. Pretty much as good a demonstration of that as you could wish for. Always a useful thing to do if you have got blood and wine. And that takes us just over an hour and a half as well. Greetings. Okay, so again, please like, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you're enjoying the playthrough. I certainly am. And make sure that you have a good day on the path.